Hey guys, and in this video I'm going to show you all the beaver dam locations on the island. Beaver dams are one of the best ways to get cement paste because you can find several stacks of them already crafted in all the dams. So on some maps like Ragnarok and Valgru, they have like certain areas where the beavers spawn pretty much constantly. But on the island that's not really the case, and they only spawn in 6 different areas scattered around the map. So in this video I'm going to show you all of those 6 so that whenever you need cement paste, you know where to go. We're going to start, obviously, with the first one. We're going to start up in the northeast of the map at these coordinates, roughly, 22 by 69. And this area is also known as the Hidden Lake. So it's a lake surrounded by a thick jungle, but it is pretty easy to find. So you can just see where I am. So when I recorded this footage, I didn't actually find any dams here, as you can see, or any beavers for that matter. So I'm just gonna use some older footage of this area when it was dams. And this area has usually 2 beavers and 2 dams in it when you first arrive. Take the dams as soon as you can because other people might find them as well. So don't bother waiting for more dams to spawn. Whenever you see a dam, just take it. One of the smaller areas where they spawn in, but they do spawn here, and if you're lucky, you can get a few dams from this area. I think the maximum amount of dams I've found is 4, but it kind of depends on how the beavers kind of wander around and stuff. So now let's move to the second area. Alright, so the next area is located roughly here. At these coordinates, 41.8 by 68.3. It is fairly close by, so if you see the river that I'm at right now, just follow that and you should eventually find this waterfall, which is right next to these rock pillars. It's also where I built my base, so just ignore that. But this area is a pretty big spawn location for dams, so you can find a great deal, many of them. I think it should be 4 or 5 around here for me. So my beavers have died, but you can still see where they left their dams. So they can either spawn on the top here, on the top of this waterfall, where they can build a dam or 2. You can see 1 dam right there for me, and another one over there. The dams cannot be spawned in artificially, so these dams means that there are or have been beavers here. So that just kind of works as proof that there are beaver spawns here. But you can see 2 beaver dams on top, and then they can also spawn, at least when I played, they more often spawn on the bottom of this waterfall, where they can also make 2 dams. So you can see there is 1 dam right there, and there is another one in the bushes there. And then they can, I'm not sure if I will be able to find a dam, but they can also wander over here and make a dam as well. So they might wander a bit away from that waterfall this direction, and I have seen them build a dam here before, but it doesn't look like there is any of them now. The next location is really close by. It is just a little bit further down the river until you get to this sort of tri-point or intersection between like 3 different rivers. You have the river that goes north of the redwoods right there. Then you have this river which kind of turns into a swamp, and then you of course have the river that we came from. So at this tri-point is the biggest spawn location for beaver dams, I think. For me, I have 5 beaver dams here right now, and again, you can't spawn them in artificially, so those are all built by beavers. Again, it looks like my beavers have died, but basically they usually spawn in the middle of the lake, and then they wander to either of the like river banks. So you can find them either here building dams. Mine has built one right there. Doesn't seem like a second one has been built though. Then they can go to this bank, and you can see 2 beaver dams right here. Or they can go to the redwood bank, and you can see mine has built a few right here. I'm not sure if you can really see that. Yeah, you can kind of see that in the water there. They might also build one or a few in the middle of the lake as well, or in this, it's not really a lake, but in the middle of the river as well. but they usually build them close to the riverbanks. So this is the next one. Oh wait. So these are the coordinates, 48.1 by 63.3, in case you're curious. So this again is, I think, the biggest one, and from the hidden lake and down this river you have 3 spots, or beaver spawns. So this is probably the best place if you live close by, or if you want to live close to beaver dams, then that's probably going to be the best place to live, because the other ones are more scattered around the map. So like these 3 spawns are close by and the next ones are further away from each other. But let's move to those now. Alright, so the next location is here in this area. So we're now basically follow the river north of the redwoods all the way to the end where you can see sort of the swamp begins. There's a big cliff right there, and of course the redwoods, and it is fairly close to the volcano as well. 56.1 by 30.4. This is another fairly big one, although I've been playing on this world now for several months and I have seen like less beaver dams here than in the other spot, some of the other locations. So even though it's a pretty big spawn, it doesn't seem to generate as many beaver dams as some of the other locations. But basically they can spawn pretty much anywhere in this area, so you might find them on the riverbank of the redwoods, where they might build some dams, although mine haven't done that. But they usually get killed pretty quickly because of all the dangerous stuff in the redwoods. Then you might find them over here, where mine has built 2 dams before they died. Or you might find them over here building, but again mine doesn't seem to have done that. It's a Spino and a Dinosuke, so it makes sense that they have not really been able to do anything here. But this area has 3 potential different areas to build dams, although I usually never... I don't think I found them build dams in like all of these locations as once. I usually find either here, here, or on the redwood side, never at the same time. Okay, so the next area is located further south. This is where we are at the map. These are the coordinates, 72 by 43. This is one of the smaller locations, but it's in return like a fairly safe one. So you can see this one actually does have beavers. They haven't died yet. At least a beaver. It was 2 here a minute ago. Where'd the other one go? Oh, life spike. Oh, there it is. You can also see a dam right there. Again, coordinates. Yeah. There's a smaller one. It usually only spawns 2 beavers and 2 dams here. So it's one of the smaller ones, but if you spawn in the south because you know it's safe, then this is a pretty easy, quick area to get some paste if you need it in the early game. So yeah, that's number 5. So now we gotta go to the last location. Okay, so the final location is right here at roughly these coordinates, 82.4 by 58.5. It is one of the, it's again a like a little bigger one, I suppose, but it is actually one of the safest ones because there really isn't much here that can spawn in and attack you other than some Sarcos. It's very close to the rocky peninsula on the south of the map. You know, at the tip of that there's a river, kind of almost a little delta type thing, and at the tri point where you see like 3 kind of small river whatever splits up here, you can see a lot of dams can spawn in here. I think there's 4 right now for me. So you can see, I think the beavers have died, but you can see a dam right there in the middle of the lake or in the water. And then they can spawn in here. There's one. They might also spawn in the jungle edge here, so make sure you check that, although none has spawned here for me, it looks like. I rarely see them build on this side, but they might. And then they might also build here on this side. Again, check slightly into the jungle, because you might find a few like I just did. 2 of them, not quite on the beach, just at the jungle's edge. So you might find, I think usually 4 is pretty much as many as you'll find at one time, but you might be lucky and find more than that. I found 4 actually. And again, I'm not sure if I showed you coordinates, but what is... Okay, these are roughly the coordinates right here, 82 by 58. And that's all the beaver dam locations. It is 6 of them. The best way is not... I mean, on other maps, beaver dams are the best way to get paced. But on the island, to be honest, it isn't really the best way because they don't spawn so frequently. So, like, you can see there isn't even beavers in most of these locations right now. And these beaver dams are from earlier. So, like, you probably won't find beaver dams in half of these spots or locations. So, to be honest, farming chitin with the saber-tooth in the caves, or going through the swamp cave with the Beelzebufo is probably going to be the best way to get paced on this map, but it is still a fair, like an okay way at least. If you just need some quick pace, you can check all these locations with a fast flyer or land mount and hopefully find something. Anyways, if this video was helpful, then consider subscribing to the channel because I upload a lot of art content, and also like the video if you like this one, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.